evening.
And leak. Perfect.
This is how we begin.
Hi.
There's you can maybe thanks.
Mathieu,
all good.
Côté everywhere.
Yeah,
But
damn it.
Anyway,
There's no E.
that's fine.
I'm okay with that.
There's no E
2 T's.
to your name.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but there's no PH either.
No, I'm glad he didn't put an E.
Okay,
Like, he could have.
at least that's a
he,
start.
He halved it. That was alright.
All right, well done. Thank you, Bjorn.
Thank you, Bjorn.
All right, welcome one and all. Thank you once again for joining us here on this pleasant afternoon delight.
Let's welcome our mods.
Let's
Yeah.
welcome our mods. Who do we have today?
McLean, Murph, Peanuts, Sassy, and Suggestive.
So, McLean's not a mod.
We allowed him to be.
He
a
is.
He should be
mod.
working. He shouldn't be modding right now.
He's working.
Get back to work, McLean.
He has
He's a good
two
mod.
screens.
He's a great
Come
mod.
on.
He's too screen.
That's not a thing.
So hi guys. We have a couple of announcements, and then we're gonna proceed to a Q&A
Okay.
with Horvath and everyone for
Awesome.
basically for the new patch and everything.
Yeah, because I don't know if you're aware, but we released a victory cube, and it actually had an impact.
No shoot. No shoot.
No shoot! You're auto-correcting
I'm
yourself.
correcting myself. Yeah, I'm trying.
So a few people have comments about this, and we'll discuss some of those.
That's awesome.
Can we start by the super cool thing?
Sure.
Charity case, guys.
Oh my God! So the
Uh-huh.
charity case is actually coming. We were purposefully vague about the hurdles that were in our ways, the obstacles we had in front
Which
of us.
we're gonna continue being vague about that.
But they are gone. They
But they are
have
gone.
been
No
removed
more.
from our path.
No more hurdles, and we even have a sneak peek.
What?
Yeah, but before that, I want to say since the hurdles have now been removed, what we need to do is make sure to test that everything works properly. We put it in the build. We make sure that everything is peachy, that none of them are weird.
An exclusive or two to finish up also.
Yes.
So there's still work to do on it,
But
but at least we have the okay.
There's so many items in that pack. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It is
Can we
ridiculous.
say a number on the items?
We can say there are more than 20 items in that
more
pack.
than 20.
Oh Jesus.
No price today, no date today, but we can show you a banner
Yeah.
that we prepared for that. Well, that our art that.
Cue the thing.
Sneak peek.
Sneak peek.
You're pressing the
didn't
button.
even
Oh, there you go.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that's the charity case. It's not finished. The logo's not final. This is not even the final form. But seriously, it's gonna be cool. Maybe you recognize some of the people you like in there.
There's also we can say a lot of new items that you've never seen.
Well, that's the thing. The original idea was to take the exclusive streamer items that existed in the game and then release that. But when we decided to do that, there's a few people like, oh, maybe we should add this person that didn't make it in the original batch, and then this, and then it sort of blew into something much, much bigger.
So that's for the nice cool thing.
And the important thing also is that all the profits from the sale of the charity case, that's kind of why it's called the charity case, because we didn't want to make money and we didn't want people to make money off of each other's brands. It got a little complicated, so instead we said all of the money from that is going to go to a charity, what is it called?
I'm not sure. Which
A
one?
charity. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah, no.
Okay, and it's brain and behavior. I don't know the exact name. It's
Cool.
mental health issues and brain and behavior.
Can we post that? Does somebody know?
Yeah. I'll have the full details. But
Full details when we actually have the charity
the
pack
beginning
in
of the
game.
marketing
Yes,
stuff.
not
Awesome.
now,
Cool.
but it's going forward. Art contest. Right now
Yes.
we have an art contest going on. The entries closes July 16, so you still have a few days to get your art on. And the next one is going to be the cosplay contest. So we're doing it one at a time. So just keep an eye open for the next announcements on that. Other announcement: borrow time. It is a bug.
Oh yeah.
It is a bug. It is not our change on the
It's
perk.
not a sneak
It is
peek.
not
That's
a
not a
sneak
tweak.
change. It is definitely a bug. Don't
my
panic.
I want you to show that again.
Then,
No, okay, yeah, because we like the Gamepedia people. There you go. No, but on the
Packaging.
borrowed time also, it's because we were fiddling with the game conditions at the end, with
We
the
added
gates opening and
scoring
and
conditions,
adding,
yeah.
and we screwed up something.
It's
It
cool.
happens, and we'll fix
so
it.
yeah, Yeah.
Well, Naked is also affected as well. Thank you.
Yeah, a lot of
Shiroku.
things after the gates are powered and
Uh,
altruistic.
I wanted
perks.
to do a special mention. Today, me and Stephen were discussing, and you came to talk to us about the
Yes,
same thing.
about the same
On
thing.
Reddit, there is now a thread called
rage
the
thread.
Rage Thread from Sweet Aurora. Great idea. It's really cool. It's a beautiful place for people to go in and just scream at each other about things that they are
It's-
frustrated about.
Not scream
Not
at each other,
but
scream at us.
well, yeah, they're
what they
screaming.
hate on the game. Screaming. One sentence scream, I hate this, and that's the end of it. And it's the
It's-
perfect format, and I love it because it corroborates a lot of things that I've been saying. So it makes me feel
No, but it's good
very
because,
good.
and I want to point out also that in contrast to that, and in sort of complementary thing, is we have a few really interesting threads on Reddit and in the Steam forums of people who have very constructive and well thought arguments about how they see the victory cube changes and how it affects them and how they think it makes the game better or worse. And I mean, there is a little bit of salt, but mostly even the people that are super upset because it screws up and they don't think it's a good change at all, there seems to be, at least to my perception, a much more
There's an open
well thought
discussion.
conversation
It's
going on.
involved.
Yeah.
It's involved. I like
When
it.
people bring actual points instead of saying it's all shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a video from Tire. I forget his full name. Tire something. It's on Reddit as well. It was a fantastic video that explained the victory cube and what he believes it does and what it's promoting.
We can
That's really cool.
also
Thank
maybe promote Gamepedia right now. That's the moment to do it. Hello? No? Okay. Packaging change to the patches.
Yes.
Very important. This is not us saying you can't ever doing the color perk. This
So-
is because we're changing the way we're packaging the game, which means, as a result, EAC might flag or will flag.
Actually, they will.
Every icons, everything, every file that is not in the game files, right?
So essentially, when we package the game, there are right now different packages, and for some reason at the end, the UI icons were not part of that package because of the process we used at the time, and it meant that if you modify, change, play with these files, it does not count as integrity for the sake of EAC checking if you have the right game. Now, we are going to make changes to the way we package the whole game to make it more efficient, to make it more secure for a lot of reasons. And that means that those files will now become part of the overall package. They will be encrypted to a certain extent and they will be packaged in a certain way. And if you modify the UI icons, it'll get flagged by EAC as you changing the game or cracking it in some sense, and they will
But-
prevent you from playing the game.
But after all this is said, it made us relook at the workshop.
Absolutely.
So basically, we saw that a lot of people really love changing perks, changing UI options and everything. So it made us relook at the Steam Workshop idea.
There's a lot of value for that. We see that and people love it, and it's a way also for people to show their commitment and being excited about the
Exactly.
game and wanting
So
to make it their
all
own.
the awesome icons that we see, they're not lost. They're just temporarily stored, let's say. So just everything's gonna be all right.
Yes, you're right.
Are we going on QAR right now, or do we still have something to show?
I don't think we have something to show just now.
Just now? Okay, we're
Let
gonna
it
wait
cook
a little
for
bit
another
then.
moment.
We can go on with Q&A. I have a couple of questions written down. There's also Horvath right here that's going to be happy to answer all your questions about Victory Cube and
Okay.
comments also.
Super happy. Excited.
okay.
Ecstatic.
Thrilled.
Yeah.
Okay.
Smiley.
Well, I can start with the first one. Deadly Vanitas asking, can we do a PTB where the change in palettes from back August, September is reverted, as well as the vacuum teleport on the other side of the palette, so the stun is at the end of the animation. Many people say this is a problem in the whole palette looping. I can say I talked to with production. They're saying the PTB is not going to happen, but right now we do have access to a lot more data on the palettes.
On
right?
chases, on
On
loops.
chases.
Yeah.
And our level designer is actually trying to flag them as safe palette, unsafe palette, and then the way it's going to generate on the map is going to be depending on how many safe or unsafe palette there is.
Yeah.
This is not done yet. We're working on it right now. But
He's
that's
calling it the palette distribution. I believe.
but yeah, palette distribution is the big problem right there.
Yeah.
About the vacuum palette, I don't know where we're
There
at
is
on that.
there are issues with the palettes as well. The vacuum teleporting is wonky at the moment. We're taking a look at the interactions with the palettes in general to have a better time of understanding where you're going to be on which side of the palette when you drop it. Right now, it's based off of your velocity in the direction of the palette or away from the palette that it decides whether you end up being on one side or the other side. That's why you can see some survivors who run towards the palette and then run back to stay on the side of the palette instead of going through. And sometimes you'll notice that when you run towards the palette and you want to drop it on this side, when you go to the other side, well, you're going to go to the other side. So we're going to look at palettes in general in the upcoming cubes. I'm not sure exactly when, of course, but we're trying to get some good information on this from stats. And then with the addition of that and looking at on the technical side of how we can deal with this, we should be able to fix how the palettes are working at the moment. I know there's an overlap as well.
Yes,
So sometimes
and
you
it
can't drop
happens
a
on
palette.
both sides. You
Yeah.
can be literally fucked on both sides.
Yeah.
But it's mostly killers here that are taking it because of the vacuum the survivors get from the palette. Even there's the trick where you kind of 3-6 and then vacuum out.
Yeah.
And
I have
that's
some
very
questions
frustrating.
here. I will ask them. I don't know if you have answers. Is the frame and picture up for sale?
Okay, some
no.
people are asking if Ash is alright also.
Ash is absolutely fine. He's in a better place now.
Oh my
he's in
God,
a
don't
he's in a
say
nice
that.
farm with other creative directors. He can run around quite a lot. There's bunnies he can chase. He's happier now. It's fine. It's
Dave's
fine.
allowed to see him,
He
right?
gets Dave's allowed to see
Because
him.
he's a creative director. Yeah. Forgot about that.
What about the survive with friend bugs? Do we have
Okay, that's very unspecific.
There was NAT type issues. Did we talk about the NAT type issues?
We should talk about it right now.
Okay.
Specifically on console. You can explain
Oh yes,
it better
that
than
one.
I do.
Yeah.
Okay,
Alright,
so
You can explain it
actually, I was the
better
one
than I
that found that because I was trying to play on PS4 from my desk here, and I could not I got 10% of my games in lobbies.
Yeah.
It wasn't working. And we went through every single way to debug it, and in the end, we figured out it's because of the network protections that we have here.
Yeah.
But it's a much bigger issue, which is not specifically the extreme firewalls that we have, but it was the exact NAT type that we were using.
Exactly. So the NAT type is basically the security that you're using for your internet. You can talk with your ISP, the provider.
Sometimes it's on
or
your
even
router
through your
directly.
router. Yeah, but it's better to talk with your ISP because
Yeah.
at least you can know the beginning of the issue, and then you can find out if it's the ISP itself or if they do something to your router. In either case, they should be able to help you to open your NAT type. Now this leads into security issues potentially, depending on what you're doing. So you have to be careful with that, of course. There might be other solutions. I'm not exactly sure myself right now, but you can definitely look into NAT, N-A-T, and looking for OpenNAT for your own internet service. If you're having issues connecting with friends, or if a friend specifically is having issues getting games, killer's not getting games, I would look into this specifically.
We posted something on I think
On our website, on Facebook.
everywhere. And it's the
that
link
was
to actually Linksys who describes their issue that they have with many other multiplayer games.
I've played, when I was playing Rainbow Six, I had the same issue, and I had to open it up, so, yeah.
Okay, no network connection is a huge deal.
That is a known bug
Yeah.
right now. There's nothing much I can say about it. The team has been
Is that where you have to
Noticed.
close the game on PS4 and then reopen it?
It's
Is it
not only
suspended
on
or no?
console, it's on PC
on
since
PC
the
as
last
well?
patch.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have questions here from the Q&A from Steam.
Okay.
So when are the ag bugs fixed? They are in the system. They are not fixed yet. I cannot give you a timeline on that at all. Then we have the question about firecrackers. Are we
Right.
getting back in the game?
And add-ons. So
Yeah.
so they're not talking about the what do we call them? The Chinese firecrackers?
Yeah, that's it.
No. I think they're talking about the other firecrackers.
Which other
Which one?
firecrackers?
Oh, you guys don't know? Oh man, never mind that.
No, there are firecrackers that were in the game during the Chinese New Year.
Those are the
These-
Chinese firecrackers.
Yes,
Yeah.
and people are asking if they will ever get them back, and maybe with add-ons
Wait,
as
are we
full-on
talking about
items.
party starters?
It could be.
Okay.
It depends on what we're
Just
naming
asking.
them.
But so for this,
We did have firecrackers that had
Yes.
add-ons too, but we never put those out.
no, nobody
Just
knows
asking.
about that.
Well, that's the important part.
Okay.
How could they ask a question about it if they don't know?
That's what we wrote.
Good question
Firecrackers.
here.
No, he's saying firecrackers in
answer
general.
is firecrackers is something we want to put back in the game.
The actual Chinese
Not
firecrackers.
exactly like it was.
I don't think the Chinese firecrackers,
There.
because those are a specific event item. So
Yeah,
whenever
yeah.
we do another one, to be a variant.
It'd be different.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
which is
so
what we said before.
there's a bunch of different fireworks that we could use.
Oh my
maybe.
god, can we do Roman candles?
Maybe. Yeah.
That'd be really sick.
Okay.
They wanted a gun.
Will the victory update affect Survivors 2 in the future? Feels pretty unbalanced otherwise. Star Inferno.
Oh, for sure. So, thank you, Star Inferno. We feel that the point system that is currently in place for the survivors was a better representation of what we're aiming for. Now that we've changed how the killer works, and it is more akin to what we're aiming for, that people actually have a better idea of what they're doing as killer versus survivor. We're going to be able to revamp the system in general. We see from I've read a lot of Reddit and a lot of Steam and a lot of just people in general and hearing their feedback. I really love it. I think it's really cool. A lot of people are really involved, which means that it's a system that seems to at least encourage thought towards it, which is fun, and I really like that. I've seen a ton of very good suggestions, especially some stuff which is saying that the killer system is not affected by the survivors enough, perhaps. There's not a
Yeah.
way to affect the survivor's outcome directly, perhaps, to a certain extent, or it feels too dissociated. So we're going to look into ways to see if the scoring can be balanced out by adding survivor scoring events that might work with the killer scoring events. And if the killer does better, then the survivors do a little worse in their scores, and vice versa. Now,
Yeah,
I
that
can
makes
go into
sense.
more
Yeah,
detail
no.
later,
So-
but this is great feedback that we received and something that we're definitely looking into.
So I'm gonna be annoying here,
Sure.
but like the problem that we see a lot so I got people who love the new system. Some killers love it. Some killers hate it for the reason that maybe it's too hard to get there. And what I hear a lot also is survivors saying, "Hey," and even killers saying, "Hey, so the logical things to do for me as a killer." If I have one that's been dead on the hook, that's 4 points for me.
Right.
I hook someone, 2 of them both one time, so I don't pip yet. So if I catch another guy, this one I'm gonna camp because I want to pip. So what we see in game is a lot of survivors get camped because killer things is the logical thing to do at this point. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, if I were to examine the situation and examine the strategy, it makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
If you leave the hook, you will lose points.
Yeah.
In terms of all factual stats, that makes a lot of sense. Now, the system itself, I don't believe is perfect at the moment. I don't think we said it was. But
No.
we definitely need, I know, I'm kidding, but we definitely need to look at it and adjust it in these situations. In practice, we're seeing a lot of things that we expected, which is really cool. And this is one of them. There needs to be more ways to counter camping in general. So if a killer would like to stay near the hook, I think there are a lot of viable situations in where you do that, right? We do have perks in the game like Insidious that tell you that this would be things that you could do. Now, perhaps we don't have just enough ways to counter it at the moment based in the game. Borrowed time is a way that we show that, but of course it extends the time of the game to catch people, so it makes it more difficult. Hopefully, right now, what you're experiencing is a shock to try to readjust and find your proper ranking and find the proper matchmaking to have a good and fun game and an intense game, perhaps every time. So I believe right now you're probably going to go through a little bit of hardship.
Yeah.
But try it out and let me know, and know that we're going to constantly look at it and hear your feedback.
We're definitely
adjust.
going to make changes to that system, for
Absolutely.
sure.
I think we have
yeah.
a very good base there,
Yeah.
and maybe it needs some
But
tweaks.
also, the important thing to know is that this affects only the people who really care about ranks.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people play for points. They
I'm
play
not-
for progression.
I'm not
and
100%
You don't agree?
agreeing with that because if you end up as the survivor being camped because the killer,
yes,
you
no,
know,
I'm talking about only for killers here. I'm saying you're absolutely right. If you're a survivor that only cares about point, it will still affect you for that.
I'm gonna tell you for a fact that I played killer since that patch, and I am someone who tries not to camp, but I ended up camping because I was like, hey, I need
because
my pit.
you care about ranks more than progression.
No, not more than progression. It's just like I knew I had.
Well, she cares about ranks.
Yeah.
I care.
Yeah.
No,
Period.
definitely.
It doesn't matter.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So I say that it changes the way some people play. We see a lot of killers that they don't think they need to pit.
Yeah.
So they're gonna farm points, of course.
But you're absolutely right. It affects things at large, and we want to make sure that the idea was always to promote behaviors that we feel will make an overall better game experience for everyone.
Yeah.
And if that's not the case, then we'll keep tweaking until it is better.
The idea is that we want everyone to have fun.
Yeah. I have Josh here from our QA team saying, for console users specifically, ranks being lost. So it seems...
It's a very big problem.
Yeah,
on
but it
console.
seems to be if you force quit the title, like turn off your console, during the tally screen or the scoreboard, that's mostly where that happens. If you go back to the front end before you exit the game, it in some cases it prevents that. So, I mean, it's not a fix, absolutely not, and we will do a fix. But this at least helps a few people understand. Sometimes you just finish the game, you're like, good, I'm done. Turn off the. Take the time to go back to the
It's not
main
even
menu.
turning it off. The scary part. It's if you suspend your game.
Oh, also, yeah.
Because
if
if you
go in
suspend
rest
your
mode
game
or
and you
something.
leave it in rest, and then you turn off your console, you're gonna, in theory, do the same thing. You need to exit to the start screen. That's where the front end would be.
And again, I'm not saying this is a fix by any stretch of the imagination. It's just if you take this good habit, it might help avoid this until we fix
Just
it.
to go back on the Victor Cube, a Victor Cube is the first step on going through our new system. Of course, this is why we released that first, right?
Yeah.
So it was in time. In time, survivor points are going to change also, survivor victory conditions and everything. So yes, it's going to be tweaked. Okay, just make sure. Glit is asking, around December you admitted that survivors are more powerful than they probably should be. What changes are you looking to make to empower the killer to be strong again? And that's a question for you.
Yeah, well, we did a lot of the changes already. We've sped up their vault speed in general. We've given them bloodlust, which allows them to catch up a little better as well. We've nerfed the vacuum, window vacuum, the vault vacuum, right? Vacuum vault, sorry. I'm trying to find the right. I think we've done a series of things to help cut down these survivors.
I do think with the palette, like the way we were relooking, we're not done, but I do think that's going to help a lot of the on the killer point.
I think the palette looping is kind of it's legit. It's just that like how many loops is legit before it becomes too much, and how many things, how many like loops are close together.
When you have two safe palettes, one together, and then a window right across, it's way too much.
As long as you burn the palettes, then you're fine. But it has to be in a short amount of time. So this is the things that we're looking at that makes it so some survivors are just able to keep away from killers for a long period of time. That's pretty much. That's where the survivors will be strong, is it's not being able to get caught.
The thing also is that if at the beginning of the game, let's say the first few levels, the killers are absolutely more powerful than survivors. Until you get to the mid-game and then the end game where the survivors get the upper hand again because of all the perks that they get, because they become, the difference between a rank 1, a level 1 killer and a level 50 killer is pretty... It's not as big as the difference between a level 1 survivor and a level 50 survivor with all the perks.
I think it mostly comes down to the add-ons, I think, that make a big difference for a lot of our killers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So it's not even the perks. Like,
as long as the perks are useful,
fine.
but there's small tweaks as opposed to perks for survivors. When you get obviously things like self-care and sprint burst and borrowed time, it makes a huge difference in how you play the game.
To answer Ty Slay, we do know that there was an issue with flashlights beam. We had someone looking at it this week. On QA and try to fix to pinpoint exactly what the bug was exactly. So they're looking into it.
Yeah, we got a video from Layer 2V, so thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you for that. Living Dead Girl asking, could you please keep 100% blood point offering in the Bloodwed rather than removing it? right now we did not remove it since the anniversary, and I would have to have Dave's approval on if we're keeping it or not, so I don't want to promise anything, but I gotta say, it's pretty cool.
I think it's awesome.
That
I like it
that
a
would be
lot.
nice to keep it.
I was
So,
playing it yesterday.
unless Dave says no, that's his fault.
Ouch.
No, I'm pretty sure he would be happy to keep it, but I don't want to promise anything. All right, so other questions maybe?
That was already responded to.
Yeah, that was answered already. The borrowed time, it was a bug, not a nerf. Why does grass outside of the killer shack or the basement moves when the killer walks below the ground in the
That's a
basement?
bug.
It is a bug, but honestly, that wasn't on the priority list.
At all.
Yeah.
Not,
It seems minimal,
It is
and
bug.
it is.
It seems minimal,
It's
but
so
it gives
No,
you
it
information.
has a huge gameplay
It gives
impact.
you
I agree.
information.
But
a
it
lot.
felt minimal, and probably because
And it's-
we didn't have an overall conversation about it, and some artists just went.
It's not only the
it doesn't
killer.
matter. It's because essentially the whatever trigger that makes the grass move when you walk through it does not have a vertical limit to it. So if you're under the grass or over the grass, probably works on the second floor too.
It does.
Doesn't
It
matter.
does.
Yeah.
All right.
Any
Well, what time is it?
No, it doesn't matter.
2:26.
We have time. We can take
Do
the
we
time we
have
want.
anything to show off?
Well, we can show this for a second and then vanish it.
Go ahead.
That's just us looking at ourselves.
I enjoyed that. I'm sure everybody else is like looking intently at the screen
Ooh,
too.
get it
What
away.
is this?
What is that?
Really?
'Kay.
That was really a second.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is what's coming.
Yeah, but they can print screen.
Yeah.
Bjorn took too long. They were already at that point. I was gonna
Yeah.
say.
Will you ever do a map set underground as some mines or perhaps an underground bunker? I think it would be a pretty cool settings for a map. Eagle's saying
I
that.
think that sounds awesome.
And also we now have the actual technology. So
The
we would-
technology.
No, but
Well, we
with
worked
the
on
with
an
the
interior
hospital,
map. Yeah.
basically what we were asking there is another indoor map.
Which
Because
is totally
It's
feasible.
totally feasible.
It's-
It's not
it-
in the plans.
And
at
to
the
be
moment.
fair, that interior map was a really tough one to make and to calibrate and to test. So making an interior map is not as simple as making the other types of maps.
They're
So-
saying we need a poop killer. Okay. Any plans on adjusting the grind to the currently 16, soon to be 18 characters in the game as opposed to the 11 when we had at the time of the last adjustment in November?
So yes, that's the hypercube.
Absolutely. Can we say that we have a new designer on it?
Yeah,
Yes,
okay.
you can say that.
We have a new designer on the team.
We added
Hey, Thomas.
someone to the team.
Hey, Thomas. He's working hard on this, which is really cool. I'm excited to see what we end up with. It's really nice right now. I
So
can't say anything about it.
part of the hypercube is the everything else that go. That's why it's hypercube because it's so big.
It's hyper.
But yes, it will have an
Okay.
impact on that.
All right, do we have anything else?
That was it?
Is
Only one page?
Yep.
Yeah,
Damn.
we can take
Next
some.
blood hunt when I can't answer that.
No.
Well, that would be awesome.
Will you buff save the best for last, as no one chases for 20 seconds?
No one chasing for 20 seconds is not true, because I mean we have the data from the bloodlust statistics that you can
It's
see
true.
from like I think it's like 2-3 streams back. So you can see actually how long people get, how many times people get into bloodlust 2, and that would be longer than 20 seconds. Actually, anybody who gets into bloodlust 1 would in theory have 5 seconds to get into bloodlust 2. We were thinking about having, there was a great idea that someone put out for Save the Best for Last, and I'm not sure if it's going to fly or not, but after 20 seconds of chasing somebody, you could just straight up grab them. Yeah,
It's a little.
it's a little intense, but I think it'd be pretty cool. But I mean, like, we'll see what
It
happens.
might, yeah, actually, it would be kind of cool.
What
I have a
about-
question here. It says, "How about lith triggering when in heartbeat range? I get screwed all the time because I'm not being chased for the 1 split second I need it."
It's
For the
when
ones
it's
that
chased.
Well, because
It's
if
how
the
it is.
chase cuts for a second while you're jumping
No,
or something,
I
it's
think
not
the
gonna
chase
trigger.
has not started. So she or he hears the
Yeah,
heartbeat,
maybe.
leaves, trying to use lip, which the chase is not started yet because the killer didn't see.
Life
done.
is triggered off of a vault. I don't think it has anything to do
It's
with
triggered.
No, it's,
off
you have
of
to
a
be in chase.
Chase
Really? Yeah.
plus.
Yeah,
plus
Oh, I didn't do that
vault.
one.
Okay, so it's while
Cool.
you're in chase,
That makes more
the
sense.
vaults will
Thank
trigger
you,
it
Mathieu,
automatically.
for-
So
for the
yeah, we'll look at this.
That could work. That could work.
It
I
could.
mean, the
But then,
condition
but then
was the chase.
it's
so.
possible also to be in a chase and be outside of the heartbeat range.
You have like 5 seconds before you lose it.
Yeah.
I think.
So
Pretty sure.
What about the body blocking on the hook?
Oh, you mean like face camping?
Yeah, basically that's.
Yeah, we'd love to look into the solution of the 180 or 360 hooks as we talked about it. So based on hooks. So we'd have like 3 interaction zones hopefully, 2 to the sides of the camper on the hook and 1 in front. Obviously the killer's not big enough to cover the 3 of them, and survivors will be able to come from any angle, or any of the 3 angles, to unhook another survivor. You can in theory use the hooked camper on the hook, as you currently are, to absorb the killer's attacks and then try to reorient yourself to unhook somebody. It can be pretty cool. So I am really excited to try that out.
we'll see.
Alright.
We have Cryptonor asking repeatedly, when will those who lost their legacy item back in December get it back? Any
See,
news on that?
That would be part of the FAQ.
Yeah, absolutely. But until we actually make that happen, we'll try to answer those questions that keep coming back over and over again. They are frequently asked questions. So we don't have a system in place right now to fix that, to give it to you, and to validate that all of these people had it correctly, and then to give it back. We still understand that it's very important, and the people who had it, I mean, it is bragging rights. It's the ultimate
God,
bragging
yeah.
right. But we don't have a system in place to do it right now. So you'll have to be patient.
Alright. Are we
I think that's
going
pretty it. We can
around
go
the
to
web?
the around the web. I have some pleasant things that I found today. Here, oh,
what does Steph looks like without this cap?
no one will
Well.
ever know. Oh, yeah, now we all do. Okay. Oh, an update on the kick killer survivor away when you're on the hook. Oh. Yeah,
We don't know
as we
yet.
said, also that could be in the FAQ.
Could be a perk.
Could be,
Maybe
but
the
we
perk.
tried it and it was not as fun as it seemed on paper.
From who?
It didn't create as much fun.
I guess not,
Overall.
yeah. The killer kick was weird.
Yeah,
That was mostly what it was, because you had no room to unhook after.
yeah. All right, so that's Show Tickle in the first one here with owls for some reason. Love the style, very nicely done. Then we have Chimchuri, who did this amazing little ink work. It's beautifully done. I hope you actually professionally make comic books, because I'd read that.
That is amazing.
Cool's Art
Aw,
did this.
love that.
Yeah. It's a ska version of the Wraith. Then we have Ecstatic as Usual. Beautiful. I think the Wraith is the character of the day today. For some reason, all the artwork I found was inspired by Philip. Then Greedland. I don't know why I like this so much.
Yeah, because
It's
Nia's there.
contemplative. No, I'm talking about this one.
Oh, okay.
You're watching 20 seconds too late.
Sorry.
Then we have Isidore, who did this.
That's ridiculous.
Wonderful
with
piece.
The flashlights.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love it. Then we have Naturgian. I believe this is part of a much bigger story that makes sense if you read the whole fan fiction that goes behind.
There's a fanfic with this?
I think
at
so.
your own risk.
Awesome.
I don't
Yes.
have the full details. I don't think it's actually a big bucket of Gatorade that they're sharing.
They're not celebrating?
No, I don't know.
Oh.
Then we have Sleazy McTucker, this beautiful prestige Nia, and notice the shape tattoo on her arm. That's
Yeah.
really nice. I don't know if it's part of the cosplay, which would
Or-
be weird, or if
yeah.
it's something that she sports all the time. But
I'm sure they do.
Serpello did this. Very friendly, neighborly trapper. And the last one is Kina with this really cool little Bic doodle, probably done in a meeting somewhere.
Damn.
Beautifully done. No, probably not. There's obviously quite a lot of work that went into that. Again, thank you so much for
Really cool.
this. This makes my day every time. What else we got? Okay, quickly repeating our news and announcements for everybody who joined later. We are changing the way we are packaging the game files, the whole game files, to make things more secure, to make things more uniform, which means at some point in the near future, EAC will flag any changes to UI icons as a lack of integrity in the game files and will therefore prevent you from playing the game if you've changed those files. That being said, we really want to give people more ways to have an impact on the game and to be able to own some stuff, so we want to integrate the Steam Workshop as soon as we can. It's not our top priority, obviously, right now,
We
but
are
we're looking
looking
into
it.
we're looking into the
not-
different ways that different games use the workshop. There's a ton of different ways to use that, and Valve is always listening to people who have new ideas on how to do this. So we're gonna find a way to help people who create cool things for the game to be able to see it featured. Charity case is happening. The hurdles, the obstacles we had in our way blocking us from releasing that amazing package of cool stuff have been removed. So now it's a matter of for us to put it in the game, test the shit out of it, and then you can see these sweet, sweet threads appear on your characters. We don't have a date or a price as of now. The art contest.
Ooh.
Sorry, I was drinking.
okay.
Art contest closes on July 16th. Next one is cosplay. We're doing them one at a time, so stay aware of what we're gonna post about the cosplay contest, and then we're gonna have the announcement of the winners of the art contest
Around that time, we'll do it
after.
quickly.
Yeah, I think it was 2 weeks after the closing of the art contest. So
Cool.
2 weeks after July 16th.
Borrowed time is a bug. It was not a sneak fix.
No.
It is a bug. We're gonna fix, and
We'll make it.
we'll make it is also a bug that was
Left
created by
behind.
the victory.
I think that was an art broken.
Okay.
So we're gonna fix those. And then we discovered today the rage thread on Reddit created by Sweet Aurora, and we
And-
loved it. So if you feel like screaming about
Yeah.
the game, go there.
Just a quick note, after the patch, all the major bugs that we've seen, network errors, survival with friend glitches, stuff like that, they're all known. It doesn't change anything if you're screaming at us today. They're all known, they're already been looked at. Same for killer pointing and everything. We still need to let that live a little bit and
Yeah.
see the results before we change anything on the killer points. But for the bugs, team is working on it. Most of the big ones.
Any plans for big maps? Any more things the player can interact with?
Big maps, you mean
Like bigger
more
maps?
swamp?
Because the swamp was the biggest
I'm
map,
not
and we
sure.
actually tweaked it to shrink it a little because people thought it was way too big and not that fun to play in.
People still DC.
Yeah, in the
very sad.
swamp.
It's been
Yeah.
changed.
Yeah.
People don't realize that it's smaller.
Yeah, it's so
The
sad.
boat is so close to the
Exit.
exits now, so you can
Right.
see it. It's been changed.
And it's, I don't know, I like playing in the swamp.
I
and
love
it
the
looks
swamp.
so good.
Makes me so happy.
Anyway, and more things that the players can interact with. For example, doors that can be locked or destroyed. Well, the gas station is the garage door that
It
opens.
and it has a ding.
Yeah, it has the ding.
Yeah.
But that
makes me so
essentially
happy.
was a
That's so
push
great.
in a certain direction. So for us, we want to make sure that we can add a few of these things, more and more.
I
of
think
these
it'd be
things.
really
Any plan to take out the patch till you fix bugs? Nope.
No.
So no.
We're gonna tweak it, but we're gonna fix it really quickly.
DLC news. Hello, we showed something.
We showed a thing.
We did.
It's
Yeah, we
it's
did.
a small thing, but it's beautiful. So there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. I think we're done. We're wrapping it up quickly today because we do not have a specific panel to discuss. Again, we didn't get that many comments specifically on the format of last week. If people enjoyed the panel, the specific discussion on a point, I liked it personally. I think it was good. I'd like to do something like that next week. So we'll figure out something. And it doesn't necessarily always have to do with the next thing that's coming or the thing that just came out. It can be about, anything that's important to people. Yeah, we'll see about that. But please let your comments flow our way so we know how best to please you.
I just saw the title.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Right in the pip.
right in the pit.
For the art contest, it's been announced on Steam, Twitter, Facebook, and it's on our website right now.
Awesome.
Okay. Follow us on MySpace.
Bye guys. See you
MySpace.
next week.
See you
Thank you very much for joining us. See you. Bye.
Bye.